Foreigners, welcome to Not Here. It's Emily. It's Peter. I want to remind you to subscribe. We're not asking for any money because we don't deserve it. Or do we?
Well, I mean, what we want right now is attention.
Give me some attention, baby. Today we're going to try, I always thought, that like Q&As and top fives and get to know you were just like real cheap attempts at like juvenile media journalism.
Only kids make friends.
Friends? Only kids make journalism. Maybe we could try
All right.
some top fives,
All
some
right.
Q&As, some questions. So today, our questions are going to be about cities.
I live in a city.
Imagine that. All these questions are coming from California. So this first one is, why should everyone move to Luzhou?
How is that about California?
It's just
If
from
I may
California.
answer your question with a question.
Stop answering. No, all these questions are from California. They're from people.
Oh, okay.
All of our listeners in California are asking questions.
Luke J. in California asks.
No.
Oh. What's the question? Why should
everyone
California
move
exist?
to Luzhou?
Why should everyone move to Luzhou? Well, I don't want everyone to move to Luzhou because that would wreck it. But for the individual who's cool, like yourself, the weather is terrible, but the people are very open and friendly to foreigners.
Very good.
If you look Chinese, they may not give you the same experience we've heard. But if you look not Chinese...
What do you mean by that?
Well, both a Chinese American and a Chinese person have cast aspersions on the character of Luzhou people. But to us, they've been friendly. Now don't move here. The people are two-faced and shitty.
No, I would say, because they're stern people with rugged, quick-minded,
Oh yeah,
fast-speaking.
it's very like loud and brash place to live. People, when they talk to you, they're gonna yell to you. They mean well most of the time, unless they don't. The food is so good, and the Yangtze River is so famous.
It's like the south of the South.
We all want to live in the famous river.
In the famous river.
Yeah, that's a quote me on that. Does
South.
that answer your question?
The south of the South.
The south of the South. Yes, it's a real South.
It's hot. It's spicy. I guess that's why you had the South of when people are like, down south things are all, they're what, Cajun-y or something, or.
Yeah, this is the
hot.
Cajun country of China.
We have crawdads.
We do have crawdads. We do have crawdads. We do have overalls.
Overalls? Do we?
I don't know why I said that. Is overalls a Cajun thing?
You've heard it here first. It's a Chinese thing to wear overalls in Sichuan.
Yeah.
Ernie in Encinitas
Uh-huh.
asks, what's the best city in China?
Well, if there was one that started with an E, I would tell him that one. But there is, and I'm not going to tell him that one. I mean, what am I going to say? Luzhou is the best city.
Okay, so barring Luzhou.
Barring Luzhou.
Best city.
Well, the favorite place I've been to as a
doesn't have to be a place you've been
city.
to.
No? Well, I
Could
can't
be any
evaluate
city.
that.
How about a city you've never been to?
Those are the best cities.
Or, no, a city that you've been to, so.
I mean, I like Chongqing a lot.
Mm-hmm. And why?
Because it's even spicier than Luzhou. No, I like it. They're like,
Rude.
It's scrappy. The people are kind of rough and tumble, but, having a good time. There's DJs getting robbed.
Are there?
I don't know.
Is that a story?
I'm just making stuff up. I mean, I think I read a DJ once was like, Chongqing's the worst.
Uh-huh.
And that makes me think Chongqing is the best. Once upon a time.
We're pro DJs being molested.
Yeah.
That's definitely a thing from our site, from our channel, that I'm 100% behind.
Bother a DJ today.
Yeah.
That's our advice.
So from San Bernardino, Miss Bernardino asks, what's the best city ever?
Oh, this is a tough one.
Doesn't even have to be China. Although it probably should if you want everyone to love you.
It wouldn't be. I mean, what's your favorite city ever?
Doesn't matter.
Let me out of the seat. It's hot.
Is it one of the spicy ones? We haven't really been up north a lot. We've been to,
That's
Qingdao
true.
or something like that.
We've been to Qingdao. We've been to...
For being so far north, that was middling.
Yeah. Songpan is North Sichuan, but that's not even a city.
Yeah, I guess, does that count? Any size city. I like Tai'an.
Yeah, that's by definition not a city. If I say London, am I in trouble?
I don't know. Is that really? I mean, you have to back it up.
I like London a lot. I mean, I grew up as a nerdy American kid, obsessed with British media. I like British comedy.
Have you been on the Thames River?
Yeah. A bunch of times.
And was it good?
I mean, I don't know if I've ridden a boat on the river, but I've been on the shore next to the river.
You just haven't floated down it?
Yeah, no.
In a tube?
I think it's dirty as this is my new running theory is all rivers are dirty. But I think the Thames is very dirty because I think all the lay of the land is that all the garbage flows into it.
And it does twist the entire way, so it's probably just collecting
all rivers do.
Really?
All rivers twist.
What's the straightest river? That's from... No. So London, you're going to go with London?
No.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. I'm terrible at things like this because what does best mean?
Okay, best means the thing that you most enjoyed ever happened to you in this city.
Oh, that's a very specific definition.
You've got caveats for everything.
That's what I asked for. I would say, in that case, maybe Madrid.
Aha. And that one magical, wonderful thing that happened.
It has to do with churros and chocolate. It's very food-oriented. What has the best food? Oh, Vietnam? Vietnam's not a city.
The entire...
We didn't like Saigon. Does that answer your question?
Enjoyed small outside parts of Dalat.
Yeah, but the not city parts.
We do have to get to Ho Chi Minh someday.
Yeah.
I hear it's wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, I like Dublin a lot too. I feel like it's cheating to pick all these English-speaking places, but
because you're racist.
Well, I mean, it is. I've been a language snob my entire life, but it is easier to get around in your own language. I'll admit that.
So then what does it feel like to live in China as a racist?
Well,
that's not a question. You can answer it if you want, though.
I would imagine, pretty good.
Seems to do well for some people.
Yeah. Doesn't bother most people.
Big City Gal asks, are you jealous of the big cities like Beijing, for example?
Okay. Yes and no. Here's why I picked many European cities and then a different country in Asia as my favorite city in the world is because what I like about China is not the cities, because I do think that given a command economy, there is that cross with the ring road structure in every city, and so they start to look very, very similar, and they are not having been allowed to develop in a way natural way. It's hard to find the charming parts. DC is awful in that way too. It's all supposed to be there, and
it was developed by politicians for political reasons, right?
Lafayette laid out the city, I think.
I fucking hate that guy.
He's French.
Oh, I love the French.
That's neither here nor there.
Favorite French city?
Not Paris.
Go ahead.
I got pickpocketed in Paris, that's why.
Yeah. You got pickpocketed in Luzhou, too.
I did get pickpocketed in Luzhou, but I don't hold that against Luzhou. I do hold it against Paris, though.
A crime in Paris stays in Luzhou.
No, so Chinese cities to me are not the attraction of China because there doesn't feel like that like neighborhoodliness, or I haven't found it anyway. Of like Kunming actually was very beautiful and nicely landscaped, and that was like a little more charming than like other cities we've been to.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I'm not like a hiking nature girl, but I do like to get out into the natural China or the tourist nature traps of China. So
UNESCO nature traps of China?
I'm not necessarily jealous of Beijing for that it's like the city, the capital city. And also capital cities are usually like the worst cities. Sorry, Albany. But I am jealous in that they do, like, if there's any place in China where they do have a lively gallery and art scene, it's there. And if they do have live bands playing, we have that in Chengdu a little bit. But it's you actually have like a very, or I don't know, but from what I read, there's a more active scene in Beijing. I think even more than Shanghai. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, because
we want to know.
Let us know, and we'll go to those places.
Well, I see lots of things online where Beijing Underground has lots of cool events that are always happening, and I'm like, oh my god, that's totally cool. And Chongqing has like a decent amount of stuff, like Nuts Club, always awesome.
Yeah.
Is doing something, and there's an art school there that we haven't even like taken advantage of.
In Chongqing.
In Chongqing, and the music school in Chengdu that. I mean, it's a couple hours away by bus, so either way, it's not something that we could do every weekend. But there is stuff to do, but for cities so huge, it's not. Like, if we lived there, I don't know if like it would be like you'd go downtown every night in New York City that you could find a thing to do. I don't know if you could find a band that you want to see every night in Chengdu.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think
like, a lot of DJs and stuff like that, but
yeah, and you know, DJs can go.
Get pickpocketed in
DJs
Kunming.
Can go to Paris.
Go to Kunming, you DJ. Go to Dali.
Yeah, so I am. That's the one thing that, I mean, we've been consistent in this answer. Of if Luzhou is missing one thing, I do wish there was a more lively art scene, or even just like kids that played in a basement somewhere that we could go see.
Yeah.
But it is also relevant. Like, you can't just move to any city in America and find that. But I don't know, maybe you can.
Best kids are in the basement playing, and like,
yeah.
Even when we were teaching high school, I don't think we're getting invited to the cool basement parties.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's kind of creepy.
Yeah. These children today are wonderful technique.
But I was gonna say, because it is like Akron is a kind of non-coastal, non-art scene city, but that's where Devo came from.
Right.
I don't think Devo's. Prove me wrong. I would love it if Chinese Devo came from Luzhou. That would be pretty awesome.
They already have the glasses. A lot of the kids, I know.
Yeah.
NHS glasses. All right. So last question.
All right, I'm ready.
From your last delivery person, this comes one fact about Sichuan that nobody knows.
That babies here don't have knees.
That's why they do that little baby kick.
Yeah.
To get around though, they travel in those little stand-up carts.
Oh, I love those carts.
Is that because they have no knees? They can't swing them off the sides?
That's why it looks like so dangerous that they're actually like standing up in the cart instead of sitting down, but they have to because they don't have knees. It's not comfortable to sit in a chair with your legs just like pointing straight out like that.
Is that just Sichuan though?
That's just Sichuan, yeah. And they
if you're from Beijing,
they try to hush it up because it's not normal.
It's also easier without like no backs and diapers, because then just everything goes straight down into moving baby toilets. That's totally how it works.
Sichuan is a moving baby toilet.
Noodles to you.